This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning. So last session, last weekend, we've gone through create virtual machines, and also we're going to uh, block storage. So that means volumes concept. Just how to create the volumes and how do we take the backups of the volumes and how do we attach them. So we have gone through that. So let's try it today. So let's move on to storage service. Also a DNS service. Okay. DNS service is like for hosting purpose, and if you compare with these services like AWS, we have S3 storage on uh, 53 we have on AWS. Okay, so for these two services, let's see how do we do them. Yeah. So moving on to so right back to our what are the resource code in last session? Let's see the resource code we have created. So go through the steps. Okay. So the source code, I think one is source code. So yeah, this is a resource code we have been working, and this is a default one here. So that's a resource code. And under this resource code, so we have sorry. So these are all the services we have created. You see that we have created storage, and we have created these which one that is. So where are the just scroll down. Yeah, we have volumes, we have instances, right? So and we created some snapshots as well, and we created images. So well, so these are what we have done in the last session. You can see the resource types there, and then so for this resource type, okay, let's do one. So let's try it. Under the same resource group, we can also create here. We can create so another resource group. That's okay. We can in the same one we'll be creating my services today. So what I do, I just go with so try with storage service. So go to the storage, and then here you have storage accounts. Okay. So what do you mean by storage? Like first storage account, like is storage, right? For S3. Now I want to create a storage first, storage account first, and once the account is created, on the account you can create different storage types. Okay, let me show you how to create an account first. After the account is created, and then we can create different types of, or we can upload, or we can create different types of storages on the accounts. Right. So let me go with first add a storage account. And make sure you use your credit. Okay. So then what if we see the credit, right? So if the credit is used, okay? So 14,500, that's a credit. And then, so I think approximately I have used about 250 rupees so far. And so this amount has to be used within 30 days. And after that days, the amount will be expired. Okay. So after that, then you can go with, you can subscribe for another subscription, which is pay as you go subscription. And then, so in the pay as you go subscription, and you start paying for those services to use them. But those amount so should be will be directed from your bank account. Okay. Well, now create a resource scope. So I don't want to create a resource scope. Use the same resource scope. I don't want to create a one. And then storage account name. Let's give some storage account name. The account name is, let's say, so new, so account. Okay. So that's new account for storage. New account storage. Okay. And set the region. And after that, so you go with performance. So are you using for like general purpose for, or else you using for kind of scenarios that very low latency. Okay. So because like I said, account will have your different resource types there. Okay. Now the resources are type of storages. So are you using for so frequently access purpose or kind of you see, the first one is most scenarios recommended for most scenarios, general purpose, right? And premium is recommended for scenarios that require a low latency. Okay. So then go with standard anyway. Go with standard or general purpose. I think you know the general purpose, right? I think you remember that general purpose well. Anyway, redundancy. Okay. So redundancy in the sense, so what we call uh, like how frequently you're going to so reuse the data. Okay, so it's like a replication kind of thing. Okay. So you don't want to allow the redundancy replication, you don't want to allow them. Okay, so you can do it low redundancy. Okay, right. But if you want to go with geo redundant, you see that, so locally redundant means like it's like you have only locally available that copy, and you want geo redundancy means so your copy will be available so secondary regions. You see that capability in secondary regions. You can access those resources even in the secondary regions. And so redundant means against data centers level. So redundant copy will be created even across the different data centers. And this is like the geo essence recommended for critical data centers. That means let's say I'm using for very critical data. Okay, I need that is very important. In that case, you go with that geo redundant. This is zone, and this is also generated for storage. Okay, and then this is geo zone redundant. This is geo redundant. So, well, now go with locally redundant, and then go with advanced next, and then enable secure transfer and enable blob access. What is a blob access? We'll talk about it. So, blob access is nothing but your data is stored in terms of blobs. That means in terms of chunks of blocks. Okay, right. Then so go with next networking. Yes, this is like you want to create an endpoint. Endpoint means I want to access my different storages I'm creating under that particular account. I want to access them. So with the help of endpoint across the networks, you can do it, or else so selected networks only. I want to go with only that particular networks. But if you have any networks created, so you can select the networks. So we have one network created, you can do that network. So this is kind of cross network access. Right. So private endpoint means so nothing, no one can access that. That's only your local only. Right. So this is like so what we call it in AWS in S3 we provide different access control list, right? So for the same purpose, we want to do that kind of access control list. So we can do that. See the public endpoint, and so which is used for the purpose of for the purpose of ACL, access control list. In that case, you can use it. Okay, but now, so what we do, we go with a public endpoint, okay, or go with all endpoints. Let's say all girls. That can be modified anyway later. So, and then network traffic routing. So how the routing will be happening? You want to use the internet routing, that means overall global, or else Microsoft itself provides their own network. So that your endpoints will be more secure. So in that case, you can go with Microsoft network routing. So okay, let's prefer Microsoft network since we are on Microsoft Azure. Let's do that. Anyway, so what they say is more recommended. That's what they say. Okay. So then go with next. And then now this is your soft delete. Now what is in soft delete? Now you have a chance of deleting your data. So after some days, okay, you can select the days. After how many days I want to delete my data. So this is one of the beautiful concepts. So this is not available in AWS again, right? So they don't provide this option. Now you can do it in AWS. So there are some advantages anyway. Then so you can set up some time here because sometimes we may create some data, especially for testing purpose, those kind of purposes. Data you store it on AWS. Okay, sorry, I mean on your S3. So that is a kind of permanent, but I want to delete that. Now here I want to delete that also, but so when you have option, you can set up some time. Okay, and also you have so other one which is enable point in time restoration. Especially this works for kind of containers purpose. I think I can show you here. So or more containers earlier status. See, on this account, I can also on this storage account, I can create my containers as well. I can create containers, I can create files. So that is what is in storage account. You can that's what I said. You can create different types of storages over here. Okay. And then enable point in time means, for example, especially this is for containers purpose, especially. Okay. So let's say my container is crashed and they want to restore your container. So you can go with point in time. So whatever the latest backup you had, so the latest backups will be so restored point in time. So and for how many days? So maximum storage, maximum restore point. Okay. So how many days for you can see maximum restoration point. So you can go with 6, whatever. Go with the default ones. That's not a big deal. Right. So soft delete means so the data will be deleted. Okay, so like after 7 days or so, the data will be deleted, like we have seen that. Now versioning, we know this concept. You want to enable the versioning, enable blockchain feed. So blockchain feed means you want to see the modifications done by some users, okay, who has done modification. I want to keep the track of those kind of logs you say. I want to keep the logs. Then you can go with so block feed. Okay. Right. Then tag, there is just a tag, you can neglect that. Next is review and then running final verification validation. So validation passed and then we can create that. So this is now we are creating account. After account is created, we can we can create different types of storage in it. Right. So that's successfully done. Right. So have account ready. So that's my resource group again. So and then, so what do we do now? I like to go with, let's say, where is the storage? Yeah, blob services here. We go with the blob services, but just with blob services, I want to show you that option here. You can add it from there. Just a second. Yeah, I think we can do it from here. So that's our option. Do they provide any kind of options over here? No, it's not there. That's okay. Right. Now this is your account. Okay, so we have account created, and once account is created, now you can start storing your data onto it. Now I want to create some files in it. I want to upload some files, and go with files, files share. Click on the file share, and then, so that is a share capacity, so maximum of 5 TB. Okay, and we have already mentioned this soft delete, so number of days, how many days it has to keep. But and then, so I think we also have enabled the versioning concept, right? Okay, anyway, you don't have any kind of data yet, and you want to add some data, so the file share, and then first create a blob here. So what is a blob then? Blob is nothing but, so it's a bucket. Now we're creating kind of a bucket here. So let's say my bucket, okay, and then, so how much, so this is another option. Now we have a choice of providing the bucket size, so that is good. Okay, set to maximum. So if you want to go with maximum, set to maximum. So what's maximum is, so 5 TB, right? That's maximum. So 5 TB is been set maximum. Or else you want to go with some, so let's say I want to have 1 GB, so set that 1 GB. Okay, so you have here, so how frequently the data will be accessed. This is nice, right? These kind of things you don't come across in AWS. So transaction are optimized. Hot means like you access the data, okay, and then cold means like not too much. This is a level actually, and the premium is not available here. So why the premium is not available? Since I'm using a free tier account, right? My account subscription I have is free tier. So I would go with pay as you go kind of account types. Then I would have that premium. Right. Anyway, I go with cool. Let's create. Now the bucket is created. Okay. So you can say it's kind of folder actually. So the folder has, you can say it's a parent directory, and now in that you can upload some data. You can create some files. Right. Now you can start uploading that. Okay. You have any files to upload? I can upload the files. Okay, let's go. Like upload something like, say, I create some file over here. And that file, like upload it. Just upload it. Very simple thing, right? Now the file is uploaded. But now you want to upload the, so again some more files, you can keep uploading the files. Anyway, right? It's a simple thing. And then, so for this, you can take snapshots. So we have a snapshot concept. You can take a snapshot. Add a snapshot there, and then, so snapshot one, just okay. Now the snapshot is it. Right. So that's your snapshot. Right. See how things are simplified, right? So it is like the backups and snapshots. So for these things, like in AWS, this is not so easy to do it. So now going back to your storage account again. So that's my bucket anyway. So here we have a bucket. So I've created buckets, right? Then, so what I can do, and for each bucket, so we have different files. Okay, we have files there. So these are the files. And for these are the endpoints, right? So we have provided with an endpoint. Now you have an endpoint. If I provide you that URL, you will be able to access that. So that's an endpoint, right? So that's URL. Then, so you can add directories in both of them anyway. Going back to back to the storage account. I mean, it's already there. I'm sorry. Back to the account. Okay. So now on this account, we have seen how to create the files over there. These are all serverless. Of course, these are serverless means we are uploading the files without any storage. Now, can I create a container in it? Yes, why not? You can create a container as well. Okay. And you want to add a container there, you can add a container. So, but let me check this out. So, whether do they allow that for free tier accounts? So they should allow it because they show something here. Private, please private. Okay, we'll see. And container, I'm creating data here. So say new container. One. And then again the same thing, public access, so private, blob access, okay, container analyze features and containers. Okay, let's go with that. That's not a problem. So create a one. Okay, so that's our container. Okay, and so for the containers, again same thing. So we can just upload the data into the container. You know, upload the data. Okay, so the same thing. Something. Okay, you can upload it. Okay, but for these containers, you see that we have some advanced concepts. Okay, this is the difference between containers versus file share. Okay, now you see the authentication, right? So we talk about this user accounts probably tomorrow, or if possible today, or else tomorrow. Active Directory. So what is an Active Directory? So Active Directory is an access control. I want to provide some access. Like you say that access control for IAM. This is like an IAM, Active Directories. You want to add some users who can access that. Yes, you can do it, right? So this kind of access can be managed for the container storage. So this is a container storage. But so that's an advantage. You can provide the block size, okay? Each and every block size. Block, I mean. So blob in the sense the data will be stored in terms of chunks of blocks. Okay. So your chunk one and so and so for the particular chunk, the data will be stored. And then just upload it. So that is done. It's uploaded. Yeah. So once it is uploaded, it should be closed, right? But we are closing it manually. Anyway. Now you see that for authentication method, you can secure with Azure account data. You go with Azure account data and then user account, I mean. So Active Directory, Azure Active Directory account. And so you can switch Azure account. You do not have permissions anyway. So we have not created any Azure Active Directories yet. But if I create Active Directories, then I can switch them. And this container can be accessed. So what's the advantage of this container then? So when you move the container, so whatever the container data we have, okay, so whatever the data we have in the whole container can be moved. That's a concept. So you can move the whole data in the container. That's what you can do. Rather than moving to the file storage. Right? So in the file storage, we have only file. The file permissions can be given. But what if I want to, so my container has number of files in it, and I want to move the whole thing into the help of container concepts. Okay. And again, you have access policies. You can control the access policy. Okay. So this is again, you can add a policy here, and which is nothing but, so these are again the policies for the users. Okay, so who can access them, who can access that policy. So you need to provide some policy. Okay, let's say policy 1. Okay, and then permissions. So yeah, this is what I said regarding permissions, right? So what kind of permission? Let's say read permission only, and from what day to what time? Okay, from, let's say today is 24, and then until expiry date, so in the next, so Saturday. Okay, and I want to give that policy. So what permissions? Read permission. Okay, now, okay, right, but we don't have any users yet, right? If we have a users, then for them users we can assign these policies. Now access control, save. Okay, save it. And then if you users here, have roles here, right? And then those. Now this row is loading, so we have created. Okay. Now you see that we have roles here. These roles, so for this new container, we can assign to the users. So we know the roles concept, right? We know the roles concept. So these roles can be assigned now. Yeah. So this is how it has been. So given permissions, but we'll talk about that in the users concept. Once the users are created, we add users, we can assign policies there. Now go with, let's say, owner permission. Okay, and then you can go with okay. So you need to add the user first. Search by the role name. Okay, you just need to add the users first. Once users been added, and go to the add and add a row, and or else add to administrator. So once it is added, you can assign them to the users. But we don't have any users yet so far. These are the permissions, whatever they provide. You remember these permissions like we have. So the permissions like we have in IAM, right? The same kind of permissions in IAM securities. So you see the same permissions, they're almost same. Right? These are the permissions. But these permissions are, but the advantage with this permission is these permissions are only for this particular container. So that is the advantage. Okay. These container permissions can be given. These permissions are reflected for this only for this particular one. Okay. Again, calculate access and check the properties. Okay. And that's it anyway. That's URL. So, and if you have any kind of issues, you can diagnose the issues. That means only for, so logging purpose. Anyway, there is no issue. Right? Okay. So that is my container. But back to the storage account. And my storage account. So we can even create so a tables. Okay, table data. This is for a databases kind of thing. So you want to store the data in terms of tabular format. Okay, you can create one. Now let's say, so my table 1. But for this, so we have database itself. So better we do that. Okay. So my table 1, and that's a table. Okay. So rather than, so what I do is, so I go with creating a database. That's the best thing I can do. So table, and rather than creating. This is a data, right? This is a data which is like so unmanaged data. So that's why we go with tables. We create them in a database. So that's what I prefer rather than creating a storage here in the storage services. So you can use that. So you can use that URL. So with the help of that URL, and then storage can be uploaded. So data can be uploaded. For example, I'm a developer, so and I want to push my data to this, so I can push it. But so the best way is now. So I have to home page. Our database actually. Okay. And then go with databases here, databases, and here you can databases. Okay. So you see that you can create an Cosmo DB, so which is Azure Cosmo DB database, which is so this is like Amazon database, okay, AWS, and you have Azure SQL. Okay, so they also have Mongo. So let me show you. I think they should have Mongo. I think we can do it from here. I think so. SQL database. This is SQL. So probably I think I can do from here. Let's see. Let's see. See, these databases are so you know the purpose, right? Rather than creating tables on that storage type, so I can create from here itself. Okay, and we will talk about this tomorrow. Just leave that. Okay, I just want to show you that just an example. So we can use different databases from here itself. And so these databases, so you can find some of the databases which you don't have them on AWS. You can find it from here. Okay. So mostly this is Microsoft. So since my Azure is from Microsoft, so their major concentration is on SQL. You see that you can create Azure SQL. They have Azure SQL, and they have SQL databases. You can create them. So most of their concentration is SQL Server, Microsoft SQL servers. But still, you can create different databases. So that is possible. Okay. So, but Azure don't have Oracle databases. They don't have it. But anyway, so moving to storage, and so going with the IAM. So we'll talk about these IAM today or else tomorrow. But so just an idea purpose. So users creation and those users here. So give on forms to the so the user permissions can be given. Okay, so what kind of data they can access. So yeah, so the advantage with this is you have the containers and also file storage. That's advantage. We are different, and also you can create a tabular storage, but that is not so recommended. Okay, so then once you go to the particular table or a container, and there itself we can also give more controls, right? You can give some roles as well, so that you can do it well. Okay, so you have the roles again. You have roles, role assignment. So then we have no roles created yet, but if you want to go with so roles creation, you can create roles. So, well, that's all under user access control. And where is the next thing? And so let me show you another service called, I think that's under network service networking. So you have a DNS service. The DNS zones, DNS service. Second, let me check this out. Yeah. So DNS zones. So DNS service for domain names purpose. So this is an route 53. So you want to go with route your traffic and you want to create some DNS domain name systems for that. So that can be done over here. Okay. Now, so let me first show you how do I create a DNS. So we know the concept of DNS, right? So route 53, the same thing. So I want to create a kind of a DNS there. So you can create the domain name. So first you create a DNS first, and once DNS is created, now we can create a hosted zone for it. Okay. So first we create DNS, then we can create hosted zone. Add one, so it's being added. You see that all the topics are very much similar, like what we have experienced in AWS. So they are very much similar, but with some advanced things. It, you should have some very advanced things, of course. So that's the reason AWS is very so rapidly changing their console as well. So once the console which you see today, you may not find the same console in tomorrow. The reason is they're introducing some new type of services, new additional functionalities. So in order to make sure the functionalities are available, so they need to keep changing the console. So they have introduced a lot of things in the last 2 years. So too many things been introduced. That's the reason. So whenever we go with and you see something new on AWS, but Azure, they have already come up with some advanced things, like these advanced things, like they have been looking into. Well, now going to so create a zone first, hosted zone, and you select your type of the subscription and the resource group. So create that and the same resource I have, and so going with next is okay. So the name of the hosted zone. Okay. So let me create. So the zone name is capital.com. So okay. So I want to create that. So go with review next. Next is tags eBay, and then review and then create. And then create one. So that has been successfully deployed. And well, now you can create a record set, right? So while we have created hosted zone first, and after the record set can be created. We know the record set concept. So we attach that record set to the particular so resource. Okay, let's create a record set. And then let's say let's give some name site.capital.com and checking the availability. Okay, now it's available. And then so I want to create alias name. The type is IPv4 type. And alias name. Then so anyway I have only one subscription, which is free trial and alias type and Azure resource. So what is the resource? Now select the resource. I want to create an so for my instance, you see that we can also create DNS for the instances. So and then so that's your like time. Okay, this is like TTL time. So how much time you like to manage it for? So it's like 1 hour or 1 week. Okay, then now the record is creating. But where is my record set I have? So you see, remember these ones, these are the values. Okay, these values, now you see these values here. No. So my record set is successfully created. Just a second. Well, can I create this another record set? I want to do it. I want to show you that. So you have one, of course. Okay, let's see. So that's a public IP address. So that is created anyway. Now, so create another record set. Okay, create another record set for the same alias type. Okay, for the same DNS. Well, so since I already have hosted zone created, so let me check this out. Can I create another one? Okay. So create a record set. Now finally, what is the name of this? What will be the name of this then? Site.capital.com, right? It is site.capital.com. That site.capital.com. So that is the name of it. Okay. So again, but these ones also you have access control here. So users, active directories, who user can control that, do that. So then you have access control. You provide some asset role here, and you want to give some things, again, some permissions. Okay. Well, firstly, now go back to the capital.com site. We are with that now. So that is my URL. Okay, that's the URL. So, but these URL must be hosted anyway. So we don't have hosted zones here. I mean, we have not created that. But if you have one, you can just straight away create one, right? So I mean, use just by the hosted zone domain name first. They can add it. What you can do. Right. So and so going back to our again same record set. Okay. So these are record set, and you want to get the record set in record sets, and then let's say I go with so new site, then create a record set alias type, and then you have another resource. You can select if you have multiple resources, you can select them. Okay. So you have another resource, you can create that for another resource. Right. Now you can create one. It's very simple things, right? So getting roles, hosted zones is like very simple and easy thing. So there you have your, and moreover, so you can see some alerts like this is a monitoring concept. We have monitoring for even for AWS, I mean for virtual machine. We also have monitoring for the S3. Okay, so that is possible. You can create some new alert roles. Okay. But I don't think so. They have these things right here in the free trial account. Free trial account. Let me find out. Let me just give me a try. Add a rule here. Let's say so rule one. I want to create some rules over here for alerting. Okay, so kind of notification purpose. Rule one, and then so I don't think so. They provide this access. Like I said, we have free tail account right on your monitoring. So I think they don't provide this kind of access here. As I have experience in the past, so they don't provide this access for the free tag. So there is nothing is enabled. So they don't provide this access for free tag. I'm sure about that. Okay, you want to add some, let's add some conditions, we'll see. Okay, so instead of doing that, so let's add some condition action. Then signal, okay, for so all metrics or else, so let's go with metrics. Okay, different metrics. What are the different metrics they provide? Okay, so these are the metrics they have: query volume, and then record set capability. Okay, so I have these, or else all. Let's say all. Okay, all means there it is. So based upon the queries, a number of query volumes, and the number of records set capacity, utilization, how many it has been used. So a number of records set per count, set count. So go with all, and then so you can go with all anyway. So select that. We'll go with some kind of segment. Okay. Okay. It's not loading. Very, very slow actually. Okay. It's very, very slow. Okay. And you can once again let me go back and then again back to that. So I go with that, let's say query volume once again. So it's very low. And see the volume. Okay, so how many number of queries for last, so 6 hours you can see that, and you want to put some threshold out here. So what is the threshold is if it is operator is greater than, okay, and then total or average threshold value is, so let's say more than, so 100, let's say, per unit. Okay, so evaluation based on 1 hour. Yes, evaluation based on 1 hour. Right, and then okay, okay, that's condition. But you see that you see look at the chart. This is what I was saying. So this is not for free. So that's what I said. Well, anyway, now you want to take some actions there. Add an action here. Add an action group. That is a condition we have set up as now. I want to take some actions here. So do they provide any actions for the free trial account? So let's find out. Let's create one action group. And action group name. So new action group. Action group for what purpose we are creating? We are creating for, so our DNS purpose. That name for the, then so next notifications. So what do you want notification name? So email. Okay, go with email, and SMS, or else we can go with Azure email itself. Email Azure source manager role. We don't have any roles yet, right? Go with this, and then email. So whatever your email it is, just mention. That's the email. And you have some SMS. You can set up some SMS, your country code. Okay. Country code, and then the phone number. Let's provide some number and the phone number, and then also you go with app push notification, Azure account email. That means your registered email ID. So Azure is going to send some account registration ID. That's okay. I don't want that. And enable that. Yes, enable it. and then okay, now that is created. Now go with next tag. Okay, split tag. So previous one was actions. We select an action type. We have done an action, right? That was notification. Automatic. We have not selected actions, right? Take some actions there. So what actions? Automatic that to, we can leave them. Okay, just leave their actions. And this is because we are not waiting for the site. Okay, tags. Then please. Okay, so what was missing? Please correct the following. So something was missing. Let's see what was missing there. So what is missing? Not showing us here for the previous one tags. So they can only be configured. Okay. Actions is not required anyway. Go, but actions is not mandatory. So this is like a notification service. Okay. If you think that this is a notification service. So I want to restart my VM. Remember, hope you remember these ones, right? So restart my VM. Okay. So that's the action I want to take it. And subscription type, and where we have free trial subscription. Okay. Okay. Just okay. Could not be created. Make the alert work for you. So set up task and every time this alert. So that is so what I was doubt about. So can I really do that? I should enable the common alerts. So some of them are not possible with free trial accounts. That's what I just so think about these ones. Okay, I'm trying to do it, but it's not letting me do it. Providing so get started, and you will be able to your own info from the community gallery. Yeah, that's what. See that you can do it only from the community gallery, and the community gallery is actually that is not for us. Well, some restrictions. Okay, just we'll try that. I don't think so. We have access to community one. Still, we try that until we get that error. Okay. The automations cannot be set up through them. Okay, these ones. No, it's not allowing us to do it. No. So automation could not be created. That's not possible. I think it's not possible from this free trial account. So you need to have access to the gallery. Okay. So that's where we are lagging because of free trial accounts. Okay. So monitoring and then alerts, these are like free trial, not allowed with the free trial. So there are restrictions. And if you want to do it, you need to have a pay as you go. You can see the same thing. Let me show you that same thing, even in monitoring as well. Now, even if I want to create that alert, I don't think so I will be able to do it. Okay. So alert is created, but actions not possible. Okay. Alert can be created, but actions are not possible. But so alert means it is only for notification alerts. Okay. So not for the alert. So that is that's our alert. Here we are the alerts. So you have no alerts. You see that, so it's not created actually. So these things not possible. I can show you these things, same things from the So what we call, go to our resource types again, go to our instances. Where is my resource types? Compute it. From there we find that virtual machine, and there is also you have alerts and monitoring. Okay. Select an instance. Here you see that, just slow down. You have alerts and then metrics. So this is all under monitoring purpose. So whenever you want to create some alerts, so it won't let us to do it. So, and metrics, you see the metrics anyway. Different metrics, how you can monitor them. The monitoring purpose. So you can see there's metrics on what metrics see the instance, okay, with create and write operations. So these are the actions. So it can be more. So the problem would be like when you go with us, you want to create alerts. Yeah. There you have new alerts. So you need to create some new alerts, and then so go with the new alerts. Let's again back to the alert section. Right? So like we have that alerts, the same thing. Okay. It's back to the alerts again. You can add conditions there, but you cannot add the action. Let me again. So back to the same thing. The signal type. Okay. Go with all. Monitoring all. So select one. CPU credit. Okay. Okay. So you can set this. Okay. Just go with that. So static and dynamic average, threshold value is, let's say this is for operator greater than, okay, and average, okay, threshold value is, so let's say, so 100. Now it is done. Click on it for every 5 minutes anyway. Okay, so this is what I have set up, and then also you need to make sure add a rule name. Let's say so rule 1, then already exists. Let's say rule 2, okay, and create a rule. So you can create the rules, you can create the notifications, okay? So, so which is like actions cannot be taken, okay? So actions cannot be taken. So that is the problem. We don't have any outs. You want to go with the rules, you have the rules, okay? So the rule we have set up. The rule can be set up, but not the actions. So that is so what it is. Okay. And you can just so check this, and then so now you want to disable it, you can also disable it. As of now, this is enabled, you can disable it so that you can do it. And you can get more rules. Simple. Well, these are like monitoring and then as well as getting notifications. So if you know the notifications, how do you send the mails? Right? In SNS we have. So the same thing, you can set the different notifications on metrics purpose, what metrics you want to do. So here I have set up average CPU usage, average CPU credits, and you want to go with, let's say, so CPU usage and number of read operations, number of write operations. All these actions can be done. There are different actions there. So according to them, you can set up the action types. Okay. So this is very simple thing, monitoring and setting up, right? Very simple thing. Right. So, yeah. So tomorrow we're going to talk about the securities, which is IAM access control. That's one thing. And also we talk about the databases, how to create the databases. We talk about different databases, right? CosmoDB databases, also SQL databases. We talk about the different databases. For today, what do? You just try to storage service, that's the thing. So go through storage, create a container storage, and also create a file storage. That's what you do. And after that, you just so go to the what else we have done with. So we set up the notifications as well, right? Set the notifications for them, and then create even DNS. So create a DNS for the instances. Okay. Right. So, right. Any questions? No questions. Thank you.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, only credit card acceptable, sir. Debit card also. Any,
Credit cards, no debit cards. They don't accept debit cards.
sir, somebody says debit card also accessible, like that ICICI debit card.
Some of the debit cards they accept it. I don't know. They might have some tie-ups, but most of the debit cards they don't accept it. I don't know whoever has done it. Just ask them. Okay. So, but so it is not I decided. So they decided by issue. They might have tie-ups with banks as well. I don't know, but mostly they don't accept the debit cards. Mostly
Sir,
might be there with the banks.
sir, it is my debit card, sir. Like that, my credit card, other credit card also acceptable. Acceptable.
So you can use any credit card.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, okay, sir. Thank you, sir.